A man loses himself when he chases love more than his mission. See, when you start putting emotions before elevation, you begin to trade pieces of your purpose just to keep somebody around who don't even see your vision. You start bending, shrinking, rearranging your whole path, trying to make them comfortable. And one day you wake up and realize you ain't even the same person you were before you met them. That hunger, that focus, that discipline, it all got diluted because you started fighting for love instead of building your legacy. It's not that love is wrong. Love is beautiful when it's in alignment. But when you put love on a pedestal above your mission, you start worshiping distraction. You stop showing up for yourself. You stop grinding with that same fire you once had. You begin to crave validation more than progress. And the worst part, you start convincing yourself that you're doing it out of care, when in reality, you're just scared to be alone, scared to walk that road of discipline without emotional comfort. I've seen too many men fall behind because they got caught chasing peace in a place that wasn't built for it. They traded their dreams for a temporary high attention, affection, or the illusion of love. But when that fades, you're left with silence, regret, and the realization that the mission didn't wait for you. The world keeps spinning. Your opportunities don't pause because you're heartbroken. The universe moves with or without you. A man's foundation is built on his purpose. That's his structure, his identity. When he forgets that, everything else collapses. See, a woman will respect you more when she sees you locked in. When you're grounded in your purpose, you become magnetic. You draw the right energy to you because you're not out here begging for it. But when you lose focus, when you start putting her above your vision, she stops feeling safe in your energy. She starts leading, doubting, testing, because she can sense you've lost control of your own direction. And that's where most men get hurt. They think love will fix them, when love is supposed to reflect them. If you're broken, love just gone show you the cracks. You can't lead no relationship if you ain't first mastered yourself. That's why you see so many men bitter, drained, angry. They gave their heart before they gave themselves purpose. You can't chase both at the same time, not in the beginning. You got to build that foundation first. You got to build that version of you that don't fold when people leave. That version that still wakes up early, still handles business, still walks in purpose, even when he's heartbroken. Because love ain't supposed to stop your grind. It's supposed to inspire it. But if you put love before the mission, you'll always feel like you're behind. Let me tell you something real. When a man is on his purpose, love finds him at the right time. The right woman will recognize that energy. She won't distract him, she'll multiply him. But that only happens when you've already built yourself into something solid. When you know who you are, what you stand for, what you're willing to walk away from. When you chase love more than mission, you become dependent. You start thinking she's your peace, when peace was supposed to be found in your discipline, your prayer, your vision, your self-respect. You start giving her the power to define your worth. That's how a man destroys himself, by handing his purpose to someone else and calling it love. Real love will never require you to abandon yourself. Real love wants to see you win. It wants to see you rise, not slow down. But to attract that kind of love, you got to become that kind of man, strong, centered, purpose-driven. Because a king without a kingdom is just a man hoping someone will save him. And no woman, no matter how good her heart is, can carry a man who hasn't built his foundation. So if you ever feel lost, come back to your mission. Reconnect with your why. The right people will align with your direction when it's time. Don't chase what's temporary. Build what's eternal. That's how you win in the long run. Every man has to learn this lesson the hard way. Sometimes, losing yourself in love is what shows you how sacred your mission really is. But once you find it again, Protect it like your life depends on it, because it does. The mission is your heartbeat. And when you stop chasing approval and start chasing purpose, that's when love finally meets you where you are, not where you were lost. A woman can't destroy a man. She just exposes what was already weak in him. See, people love to say, she broke me. But truth is, she only showed you the cracks that were already there. She didn't build you, so she couldn't break you. She just brought light to the parts of you that you try to hide behind confidence, ego, or success. That's the thing about connection. It's a mirror. And when you stand in front of someone real long enough, they gon' reflect back exactly what you still need to fix within yourself. When you're solid, nobody can break you. They can hurt you, yeah. They can disappoint you, but destroy you, nah. Only weakness within can collapse a man from the inside. That's why it's important to know yourself before you start loving somebody else. Because love don't just bring joy, it brings exposure. It pulls out your insecurities, your fears, your lack of control. It shows you what you still haven't healed. Most men ain't ready for that kind of mirror. They meet a woman falling deep, start building their identity around her, and when she walks away, they act like their whole world ended. But she didn't take your world. You just forgot to build one without her in it. She didn't destroy your confidence. You never had it rooted deep enough. You built it off validation, off her energy, off her presence. So when she left, that false foundation crumbled. That ain't her fault. That's the lesson. Pain got a way of showing you where your strength really lies. You only realize how weak your discipline was when it's tested. You only realize how fragile your peace was when it's disturbed. So when a woman leaves or cheats or stops believing in you, that's not destruction. That's exposure. The universe using her to teach you where you're still soft, where you still need work. A man's stability should never depend on who stays or who leaves. You're supposed to be your own backbone. You're supposed to have a system, a purpose, a mindset that keeps you balanced even when life throws you curveballs. But too many men put women in positions they're supposed to fill themselves. They call her their peace, their motivation, their world. And when she's gone, they got nothing left. That's weakness disguised as romance. You got to build from within first. You got to be so grounded in who you are that even if she switches up, your spirit don't. Even if she walks out, you still standing. Because that's real strength. Not control, not manipulation, not revenge. Just unshakable self-awareness. When you know who you are, what you bring, what you're building, nobody can take that from you. She can expose it though. She can show you that you still got wounds from your childhood, trust issues you never healed, insecurities you tried to cover with money, status, or attention. That's the real power a woman has, reflection, not destruction. You either get bitter or you get better after that. Some men fall apart, others rebuild stronger. When a woman challenges your peace, don't rush to blame her. Ask yourself why it hit so deep. What was she able to touch that you hadn't protected? What weakness did she reveal that you've been avoiding? Because that's where your real growth is hiding. Pain is instruction if you let it be. It's your soul telling you where to level up. See, a lot of men want love to be comfortable, but love is also corrective. It'll test your patience, your ego, your communication, your emotional control. And if you fail those tests, that's on you, not her. She was just the instrument life used to play your truth back to you. Real men take that experience and evolve. They don't point fingers. They don't cry about betrayal forever. They look in the mirror and rebuild their foundation brick by brick. Because when you get your foundation right, when your identity comes from purpose and not people, then no situation can destroy you. It can only refine you. That's the real game. You stop blaming women for your downfall and start thanking the experience for the revelation. You start realizing that every heartbreak was really just a lesson in disguise, showing you who you are without the mask. So don't ever say she destroyed you. Say she showed you yourself. Say she made you see where you were weak, and that pushed you to become stronger. That's growth. That's how you evolve from pain to power. Because once a man becomes whole within, no woman can destroy him. She can only rise with him or watch him rise without her. Energy exchange is real. Every time you connect with somebody, talk to them, sleep with them, even just think about them, you're moving energy. You're giving and receiving frequency. And the crazy part is most people don't even realize how deep that goes. You can feel it. You ever walk into a room and instantly feel heavy, like the air thick with tension? That's energy. You ever talk to someone and leave feeling drained, like your spirit tired? That's energy too. Everything and everybody carries a certain vibration, and when you link up with them, that current either charges you or it bleeds you dry. See, people think energy exchange is just about sex or romance, but it's bigger than that. It's who you share your time with, your ideas, your space, your attention. Every conversation is a transaction. Every hug, every argument, every moment, it's an exchange. That's why you got to be careful who you allow access to you. Not everybody deserves to tap into your frequency. Some people come around just to download your light, to soak up your motivation, your spirit, your drive, and when they leave, you start questioning why your focus faded. That's because energy don't lie. When you're on your purpose, when you're moving right, you'll notice how your energy start attracting certain people and repelling others. That's the universe doing its job. The ones who come to add value, they feel like peace. They don't take from you, they pour into you. You leave those conversations feeling full, inspired, balanced. But the ones who come from a broken place, they'll see your light as a battery. They'll love you for how you make them feel, not for who you are. And when they're gone, they'll leave you empty. That's why discipline matters, because protecting your energy ain't about being cold. It's about being wise. You can't keep giving yourself to people who haven't earned that access. You can't keep trying to fix people while you're still healing. You got to recognize when the exchange is no longer equal. You give peace, they give problems. You give understanding, they give confusion. That's when you step back, not out of anger, but out of self-respect. Energy is currency, and if you spend it carelessly, you'll stay spiritually broke. You'll wake up tired, uninspired, wondering why your vision don't feel clear anymore. That's not burnout from work. That's burnout from people. You got to check who you're around, because some folks don't come to build, they come to feed. And if you let them, they'll drain everything you work for. The truth is, energy exchange is how you measure real connection. When two people align, they don't compete, they complement. They move like flow, not force. You can feel it. The conversations hit different, the silence even feels safe. But when that energy's off, no matter how good it looks, it won't sit right in your spirit. You'll feel anxiety, confusion, doubt. That's your intuition telling you something's off. Protecting your energy means learning how to listen to that feeling. It means understanding that not everybody who smiles at you has good intentions. Some people wear masks made of love, but carry intentions made of lack. You gotta read beyond words. Energy will tell you everything before people do. That's why solitude's so important. When you're alone, you get to reset your frequency. You remember what your energy feels like without anybody else's influence. That's how you learn what peace really sounds like. So when something or someone disturbs that peace, you recognize it instantly. You can't protect what you don't understand. So you got to spend time knowing yourself, knowing your rhythm, your triggers, your flow. Once you master your own energy, you become untouchable. People can throw shade, gossip, try to pull you off balance. It won't stick, because your vibration too high, too centered. You've learned how to respond instead of react. You've learned that sometimes the best protection is silence. Real power ain't loud. It's alignment. It's walking into every space with your energy intact, knowing that whoever connects with you is going to feel that light. And if they ain't built to match it, they'll fade on their own. Energy exchange is real. That's why you got to be intentional about who you love, who you trust, and who you keep close. Not everybody deserves your vibe. Not everybody can handle your frequency. Some people come to teach, some come to test, and some come to drain. But once you understand the power of energy, you stop chasing connections and start curating them. You stop begging for love and start protecting your peace. At the end of the day, energy don't lie. It exposes truth faster than words ever will. So guard your frequency like it's sacred, because it is. Your energy is your legacy, your protection, your gift. Don't waste it trying to light up people who enjoy the dark. Love without alignment turns into war. It starts out feeling like a dream. Passion, chemistry, excitement. But underneath all that, if the souls ain't moving in the same direction, that love eventually becomes a battlefield. You can't build peace where there's no purpose. You can't build unity when y'all visions pull opposite ways. And no matter how strong the feelings are, when the alignment ain't there, love turns into survival. See, when two people meet, there's always energy exchanged, but there's also frequency involved. If you're vibrating high, chasing growth, chasing truth, and the other person still moving out of pain or insecurity, that imbalance creates friction. It starts small, little arguments, miscommunication, distance. But over time, that misalignment turns into war. It becomes emotional chaos disguised as love. You start fighting for understanding instead of building together. You start explaining your worth instead of living it. Love ain't supposed to drain you. It's supposed to sharpen you. But when it's not aligned, it steals your focus, your peace, your clarity. You wake up every day walking on eggshells, trying to keep something alive that's already spiritually dead. That's not love, that's fear. Fear of letting go, fear of being alone, fear of starting over. But love that comes with peace don't make you beg for space to breathe. It moves with balance, not control. When two souls align, the connection feels effortless. You don't have to convince them to understand your vision. They just get it. You don't have to fight for respect. It's mutual. You both want to see each other win, not compete to be right. But when love lacks alignment, it becomes toxic without you even noticing. You start justifying disrespect, calling it passion. You start mistaking arguments for communication. You start thinking chaos is a sign of intensity when it's really a sign of imbalance. Love without alignment forces you to compromise your peace just to keep a bond. You start watering a plant that don't even have roots in your soil, and after a while, you look around and realize you've been fighting battles that were never yours to begin with. You've been trying to fix someone who ain't ready to heal, trying to build a future with someone who's still living in their past. That's not alignment. That's confusion disguised as connection. Real love is supposed to grow both people. It's supposed to elevate your mind, not drain your energy. But to attract that kind of love, you gotta first align with yourself, because you can't expect someone to match your frequency if you don't even know what yours is. A lot of people get into relationships out of loneliness, not purpose. They crave companionship more than connection. And when that honeymoon energy fades, what's left is two people trying to force something that don't fit. That's when the war begins. The silent distance, the constant misunderstandings, the emotional games. You start realizing love alone ain't enough. It takes vision, discipline, and spiritual maturity. Without that, love becomes an addiction, a cycle of highs and lows that keep you stuck instead of growing. You keep hoping they'll change, They keep hoping you'll adjust, and both of you end up losing pieces of yourselves, trying to meet in a place that was never meant for both of you. But alignment, that's where the peace lives. That's where the growth happens. When love aligns, it's not about control, it's about contribution. It's not about possession, it's about partnership. Two people walking side by side, both focused on elevation, both protecting the mission and the bond. No ego, no games, just respect and understanding. Sometimes the hardest thing you'll ever do is walk away from a love that's not aligned. But you gotta remember, letting go doesn't mean you stopped caring. It means you started caring about yourself too. Because when love keeps costing you peace, it's too expensive. You can't chase love that keeps breaking your spirit. You can't fight for someone who ain't fighting for growth. So if the love turns into war, don't get bitter. Get wise. Learn the lesson. Because that pain is just the universe showing you the power of alignment. It's teaching you what real connection feels like by letting you experience what it's not. And when you finally find someone whose soul moves with yours, you'll understand why the rest never worked. Love in alignment feels calm, not chaotic. It feels safe, not confusing. It feels like home, not war. And once you taste that kind of peace, you'll never mistake pain for love again. A real man rebuilds from pain, because pain don't come to break you, it comes to build you, to strip away the weakness, the ego, the excuses, and force you to face who you really are. See, anybody can talk strong when life's easy, when money's up, when love's good, when people clapping. But who are you when it all falls apart? Who are you when the people you trusted switch sides, when your heart breaks, when your vision feels cloudy? That's the moment life separates the talkers from the builders. A real man don't fold in that space. He studies it, he rebuilds from it, he grows through it. Pain got a language only growth can understand. It speaks truth that comfort could never teach. Every setback, every betrayal, every loss, that's information. That's life showing you where your foundation was weak. And when you start seeing pain as a teacher instead of a punishment, everything changes. You stop asking, why me? And start asking, what's this trying to teach me? That's the shift. That's when you take control of your narrative again. A lot of men try to run from pain. They drown it in distractions. Women, money, ego, revenge. They build walls instead of wisdom. But you can't heal what you won't face. You can't rebuild if you never accept what broke you. Real healing ain't about pretending you're okay. It's about rebuilding with awareness. It's about taking that broken piece and shaping it into strength. That's how character is formed. That's how real power is born. You see, pain will humble you. It'll slow you down. It'll make you question everything you thought you knew about life, about love, about loyalty. But if you sit with it long enough, you'll start to realize that same pain that hurt you was really your rebirth. You had to lose certain people to find yourself. You had to fail at something to understand what success really requires. You had to be alone to learn how to stand. A real man don't use pain as an excuse to stay broken. He uses it as motivation to rebuild stronger, smarter, more aware. He don't blame the world, he learns the game. He studies his mistakes, he adjusts his moves, he refines his circle. Pain gives him perspective. It teaches him patience, self-control, and resilience. Every scar becomes a story of survival. Every loss becomes a blueprint for elevation. When you rebuild from pain, you start moving different. You stop begging for closure. You stop chasing validation. You start realizing everything you need is already inside you. You stop saying, I lost everything, and start saying, I'm becoming everything I was meant to be. That's a powerful transformation. When pain no longer controls you but fuels you, there's a peace that comes after pain, but you only find it by walking through the fire. You can't skip the process. You can't numb your way to strength. You gotta feel it, learn from it, then use it to create something new. Maybe it's a new mindset, a new business, a new discipline. But something gotta grow out of that pain, or else it was wasted. And understand this, rebuilding ain't overnight. It's a grind. Some days you'll feel lost, other days you'll feel unstoppable. But as long as you keep showing up, keep doing the inner work, keep focusing on becoming instead of blaming, you're winning. Every step you take out of that darkness is a victory. Every time you choose peace over anger, discipline over impulse, purpose over pity, that's growth. Pain introduces a man to himself. It shows him who he is when nobody's watching, when nothing's working, when he got every reason to quit, but doesn't. That's what makes a real man. Not how much he's got, but how much he overcame. Not how loud he talks, but how much he endures. So yeah, pain hurts, but it also heals. It refines your soul, it purifies your circle, it tests your belief in yourself. And when you rebuild from it, you come back different, more focused, more grounded, more grateful. You stop chasing temporary highs and start building permanent foundations. A real man don't fear pain anymore. He respects it because he knows every time life knocks him down, it's just clearing space for a better version of him to rise. Pain was never the end. It was the construction zone for your next level. So don't run from it. Rebuild from it, because when a man learns how to turn pain into purpose, there's nothing left in this world that can destroy him again.